as they join.
Welcome to our mastermind call. Tuesday, the 21st. This is like fall now, isn't it, Eric?
Actually, in California, I actually had my windows open the last few days.
Nice. All right. Good deal. So it is officially fall, I believe.
It
Lots
is official.
lots to discuss. Lots on our agenda. Where would you like to start? You want to start with our dates or something else?
Yeah. I think just some clarification, and because this is recorded, everybody will see the recording and they can get what they came for early.
Yeah?
Yeah, clarifying the dates that we set up. Go for it, Paula.
Okay. Well, I'll pull those up then where we've got Eric and I have been busy planning and thinking about what the needs are and what's coming up. So we put up some dates for January. We think, Eric, all these doctors really like to go hunting in October. So I run into that a lot. So it's good to have some dates where we can get the doctors in when they're not hunting. I don't think they're hunting in January. So we're going to do the Zoom camp for the whole team in January. We're going to do the 2 days again. Eric, did you like the 2 days?
Yeah, I think separating it out just helps people. You don't have to have 2 days back to back of training, whether it's exhausting or, obviously it's via Zoom. So that part gives us the freedom to say, hey, don't shut your practice down on Thursday, save some money. Join us on Friday here for day one, and then Friday another month for day two, and save some money that way and still get the same information. It's really good interaction. So Zoom has been, I think, just a nice realization over the last year.
It really has, and I think we've had groups from, you have clients over in Alaska and
Yep.
California and over that way, and then we get all the way from Maine, North Carolina, and Georgia, South Carolina. So
Yeah.
we get the whole scope of the country that way too, where other people probably wouldn't be traveling if we did it any other way.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Dr. Neil. All right.
He's
So
still connecting to audio, it looks like.
yeah, so
There he is.
we have the two Fridays, and then we have the leadership Zoom camp that we'll do on Zoom as well for 2 Fridays, part one and two. And then the most exciting thing is to come into my house, right? In Tennessee, we're inviting everybody over here. I did this, Dr. Watson, how many years ago was that? Like 10 or 11 years ago we did it at my house?
I don't know. I don't think I made that one.
Oh, did you not make that one?
I don't think I've not been to your house, Paula.
Oh,
Unless,
okay. Well,
unless I've got early Alzheimer's. I don't
well,
remember
you,
being
you may
there.
not have been, but
I don't think so. No.
so we have a great meeting room up at our little clubhouse where the golf course is and swimming pool, and they just remodeled it. It's really good, and there's an inn across the street. I mean, it's limited. There's only about 12 rooms, so we can, buddy up and room together. Or there's another hotel not too far away. But we're gonna just have a fun, relaxed, retirement focused golf, lake, mountains, and do some leadership conversation as well. So that's going to be super fun next June. I was just up there today,
Mhm.
um, talking to we got a great chef, and hopefully they'll do some food for us. So I'm really excited about that. And thanks to Dr. Ted Johnson and the Ipsos seminars for providing our CE. So,
So just real quick, Paula, maybe put that back up because here's what I'm getting questions about already on
oh,
on
okay.
text. I love
Yeah.
Dr. Selesky's family photo. That's awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
what's the difference between leadership Zoom camp and leadership retreat in person?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I think the leadership Zoom camp is kind of like we've done before with everyone having a part in the program, and we have different speakers, and we do our breakout sessions and things like that. I think the leadership retreat in person is going to be a little more casual, laid back, a little more camaraderie of getting together in person and talking about selling your practice, talking about, hey, I'm retired now. What do I do with my time? Or I'm thinking about retiring. What do I do with my time?
Or I want to I'm an associate and I want to buy a practice.
Yep.
And look at you here. You sold your practice. What can I learn from you? Or
Yes.
I want to form a partnership. How did you do that? How did you set that up? And just talk about that as a group.
Yes.
Will there be different topics being discussed in Zoom camp versus retreat then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm seeing it. Is there'll be the leadership retreat in person will be different topics than the leadership retreat that's a Zoom camp.
Zoom camp, yeah. That's 2 separate days, March and April. And then who attends leadership Zoom camp versus team Zoom camp?
Well, we were talking about that today, and
Yeah.
of course we have doctors. I mean, if office managers want to come and you want to spend some time with your office manager on the leadership Zoom camp, I think we can include that. Sometimes spouses like to come to the one that's in person.
Yep.
So the spouses really enjoy talking to each other. Maybe they're hunting widows or
golfing widows, what it'll be, right?
Or golfing widowers, or So when we get the spouses together, that's really a lot of fun. So it's just a different atmosphere of the one in person, and we've just had a lot of requests to do another one in person.
Yeah.
Get some of the gang together again that usually meets in person and hang out and see how everybody's doing.
What? So do you think there's a seat limit for the in-person one? It feels like there would be less people in that than the Zoom camp.
Might be. I'm thinking we can take about 20 when I look at the room.
Okay. All right.
And when I look at the end, like I said, there's about 12, 13 rooms over there if they're not all full. That's on Airbnb, but there are some condos around, and there's another hotel. But I think, I really like that cozy atmosphere. When we get about 20 people, that's really good, I think.
Yeah, and then leadership Zoom camp, we keep that to about, we haven't really ever set a limit to it, but it seems like it's always been that 20 to 25 range on Zoom camp. Well,
Yeah.
leadership Zoom camp, yeah.
That's just a good mastermind number to have together talking about things. Dr. Watson, you've been to several. What do you like? You like the in-person and the Zoom?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find it much more enjoyable talking to a real person rather than staring at my computer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, for sure. So, we want to offer both, and we've been able to reach a wider group offering the Zoom camps. So.
And who should consider team Zoom camp? What's that about? What are we covering there?
I feel like I'm being interviewed.
Yeah, you are. Because I know I get these questions like, well, what's the difference and who goes there? And so this would be good. I say, hey, watch this. Watch the first 5 minutes of this.
Yeah, that's really good. So the team Zoom camp is really a lot of fun. That's for everybody on the team. Doctors, every single team member, where we're going to go through the skills. We're going to go through, purpose, vision, and we're going to go through meetings, and we're going to go through transforming our fears, like self-esteem, approval addiction. Nobody has that, but we just talk about it. And we talk about the personality profiles, and we talk about team harmony. We talk about asking questions. We talk about scheduling and case presentation, Eric's favorite thing. How to get the patient to say yes, finding out what the patient's goals are, objections, transfer power. We talk about cancellations, did I say that already? Marketing, all kinds of things. Financial arrangements.
Systems, verbal skills, all that stuff. So if you have new, we've been dealing with so many new team members over the past year. This is why we put this up for you guys, so that everybody can be on the same page in 2 days. Now, you could send them on their own to Zoom camp, or you can accompany them either way, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. Some teams have just all met together in their office and get on Zoom.
Yep.
And so they're having an office meeting while we're all meeting, and then some join individually. So just depends on the situation.
Yep. All right, cool. Thank you for clarifying that, Paula.
Yeah, well, kind of made that up as it went along, but
put you on the spot here. All right.
That's
That's
okay.
great.
It's all right. But really, we want people's feedback. We want to know what you're thinking and what you want out of these meetings. These are just things that we hear that people want, but we want to know: is there something different going on, and that you would really like us to cover? We're all about that. And really, these are your requests. This is why we're doing it. We're not just making this up. We're doing it because we get requests for it. Right, Eric?
That's right. That's right. And we do the individual practices one-on-one, just like this. This would mean there's just more
Yes.
fun, more people. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you, Paula.
Yeah.
All right. So topic number 2, hiring updates. What's working, what's not. So has anybody hired anyone recently and went, oh, wow, that went well because I did this, or wow, that was really bad. And look what happened here. I don't ever want to do this again. I know Dr. Pierre hasn't had to hire anybody in like 4 or 5 years, so that's good.
Yeah. I was just looking at it, and I think we've hired 10 people in the last year.
Oh,
And
Wow.
bless your heart.
We're
How many-
at about 70%, meaning that 3 of them didn't work out.
That's what I was going to say. How many of them are still there? Okay. Now, all right. So for everyone's benefit here, Dave, do you mind if I call you Dave?
Yeah, of course not.
Why would you say those 3 didn't work out? Was there something in the interview process, or?
What didn't work out?
Yeah.
I would say the first one that didn't work out, it was more just a lack of calling references.
Yeah.
I think that would have fixed it. The other 2, actually, we did everything right. It just was, one was a wonderful fit. She just didn't learn quickly. And we did not let her go. She left for family reasons.
Gotcha.
But she was wonderful.
Yeah.
She was too timid to learn.
Here's something I get, Dave, all the time. I only want to hire people with experience.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're looking and looking and looking and waiting and waiting and waiting. I mean, I could see with a hygienist and possibly, depending on the position, assistant. But what's your thought on admin and assistants with no experience? Do you have a difference of opinion there?
Yeah, most of the people that we've hired over the course of my entire career have been without experience. And what I would say is that the right person without experience is way, way better than the wrong person with experience.
Yeah.
So I look at experience, and every now and then I've been lucky, but most of the time people with experience don't have what we're looking for.
And I just have this client in New York. I was just talking with her today, two female doctors, and just fresh in my head, two things that stand out to me. This experienced applicant wants like $15 more an hour than anybody else. And number 2, they hired someone. I'd talked to them in July. They were very excited. They hired this new assistant. And then August, like, oh, we had to let her go. She was crazy. It's like, what was missing? And you said it early on, they didn't call previous doctors.
Yeah.
And I want to clarify that references. It's not just who do they reference on their resume, but who do they work for that we can call and say, hey, what can you say about this person? Right.
Yeah.
I have a reference check form, Eric, that I had an attorney look at, and it might be appropriate for every state except probably California. I don't think you can do this in California, but these were some of the questions.
Most of my clients in California don't care.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
The reference check police are coming.
yeah, there you go.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, you want to follow employee hiring guidelines, please.
Yeah, please do in your state. Make
Yes.
sure it's okay in your state. But I had an attorney look at it, and she thought, most everything was fine on here. But these were some of the questions I thought were pretty good. Of like, can you tell me about their communication skills, attendance record? So these are kind of facts instead of, some of them are facts. Give me an example where she could improve. How did she handle constructive feedback? Rate on 1 to 5, like phone skills, communication, computer skills, etc. So,
Yeah, in California, you're literally allowed to say, would you hire this person again? And it's
And
a
that's
yes or no
it.
question, and that's it. Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Unless I call for you,
Yeah,
then
right.
I'm not hiring and I can ask whatever I want.
Of course, but Eric, in this environment, people are like, hire fast. Just go ahead and hire with contingencies. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, what do you think?
Hire quick, fire quick. That's been what we've turned into. It used to be like, you know, I don't know, one of them, depending on where you were in need, was slow, hire slow, fire quick.
Yeah, right.
Hiring is guessing, firing is knowing. Guessing now or guessing in 2 weeks, you're guessing late and they're already gone. They've already got another job. So if you like their personality and you think they're trainable and their IQ level is well enough, they got a great attitude, then especially administrative, I'd say let's train them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I started with no experience in dentistry, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
All of
I
us
mean,
did, right?
I was a patient. I didn't know
Yeah.
anything. I messed a lot of things up. That's how you
Yeah.
learn, right?
I think what happens a lot of times is dentists get tired of the training. They go, I don't want to train anybody, but I want them to come in with training experience. It takes so long to train. But I think what Dr. Pierce is pointing out is that, wow, you could have somebody trained, but trained to do what? Trained in what way? It's every practice is different. So it's much easier to train the way you do it than it is to unlearn the old way, because they're going to be stuck in that. Well, that's not how I learned to do it.
Yeah, right. And then do we have a training program? I mean, are we organized or are we just throwing them in? Because that's a really good failure rate when we just throw them in because we're overwhelmed. So what do y'all do to train? Like, Dr. Bulsari, you have a new hygienist right now. What kind of system are you using? What kind of plan are you using to train? Caught you off camera.
He's coming back.
I had to grab my charger.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Right now, I am new to all of this, so mine has been just figuring it out by mistakes and but I have been doing just one-on-one evaluations couple times a month to make sure that I don't forget to address whatever questions they might have or what I feel like they need to do, that I don't get behind on it. If I've noticed something throughout the week that I feel like I need to coach them differently on, I try to write it down, and then at some point I'll say, hey, can you come by my office? We just need to, check back in. I'll say, when we see a patient, let's remember to look at the x-rays before we do the hygiene check. Or can you remind me, what their last visit is? When I sit down.
Yeah. Are you still there? We lost you. So I think what he's referring to is the weekly SWAT, where we sit down with a team member and a new team member, and you tell them every week, we're going to take a few minutes on Thursday or whatever day you want to do it and ask a few questions and let the team member go first. That's okay.
It cuts out in and out.
That's all right.
But I was just saying, I try to do the individual meetings and write down if I remember something throughout the day, because it's very easy to forget, and I'm still not, perfect at it. But that, luckily for me, with the hygienist, she was looking for a new position because she was working for a doctor who's retiring. So it worked out good. She, kind of just was a good learner. And so that worked on my side. But we did hire an assistant with no experience in the very beginning when I joined. And for her, the assistants have been teaching her more so than I have. And whenever I hear, or like throughout while I'm working with her, there'll be times where I get frustrated because of something she's not catching on to. But then I remember she has no experience, and then so I have to.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's about that patience too, because you give up something to get something. If you're taking on someone who doesn't have that experience, you're giving that up. So but you're getting something. You're getting the ability to have a clean slate and not have to rewrite any of that previous learning.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I did for her was, I tried to make cheat sheets for her, and I told her to just stick it on the wall in the operatories. If she doesn't have time to make notes.
Didn't quite hear that. So yeah, so cheat sheets, checklist, that's really helpful. I've got on the screen right now kind of a sample spreadsheet. It's really good to have the team member know where they are in their training, and they can. I've shared this with some of y'all before. They've been introduced to the skill. They can check off. They've known this. They've been introduced to that. They're doing it. They mastered it, or they can teach it to somebody else. This is, the new hire, just things to do with a new hire, and then you've got admins, some things you can teach them, assistant level 1, assistant level 2, assistant level 3, assistant level 4, and a cross train. So this can be helpful. And of course, for hygiene, you want to share your hygiene standard of care, right? Make sure you have that in writing.
That was something that was something we reviewed on our last meeting, about protocols of x-rays and stuff like that.
Yeah. And another thing, especially if you're hiring a hygienist, is to have them know how you treatment plan. So, for example, here's a sample document that one doctor wrote. He actually was new to the practice himself. So he wrote this up. He called it his, I shared this with you, Dr. Tushar. Treatment planning predictability. Yeah. So he goes through all the different types of treatments, and he writes down pretty much what he would do. It took him a while. This is like 5 pages of different things of how he would treatment plan, so that the team understands that, or a new hygienist or a new assistant or whatever would understand how you treatment plan. And that can really speed up the process with the patients when they're confident in predicting what you would do. So what are some other things that you guys do to train? Dave, what do you do to train? Or Kate, I know you've got kids with you, but what are some tips on training a new team member?
Oh boy, it's hard when you're understaffed, so I can really relate to that. It has put a burden on our trained team. Mm-hmm. But that's basically, you find, I think in every office you have that gifted teacher.
Yeah.
And we put them together with the gifted teacher and keep them away from the people who aren't as gifted at teaching. So that's part of it. We start them, right at the beginning with the person who does hygiene assisting. So they learn about changing over the room and doing the sterilization techniques and what's clean and what's dirty, what to touch, what not to touch. That's step number 1. Then step number 2, we teach them to do basic chair side, how to suck, spit, and handle transferring instruments and things of that sort. Once they get there, then they really start working solo with the doctor, and then the doctor continues to teach them the fine-tuned things. So that's, I'd say, the big part of it. The other thing, and this is something I would suggest for everybody, is when we hire, we always tell our new hires that their training is their responsibility, not ours.
Love that.
So
that's really
key.
good.
I would repeat. I think that's worth repeating.
I tell people that their training is their responsibility, not ours. I don't want anybody to say to me, well, you didn't train me.
Mm-hmm.
We're ready to answer any questions.
That's awesome.
I'm seeing, Paula, that the team, that has stuck with the practice, those members have seen this turnover. And I mean, I've had team members crying in the middle of meetings recently because they feel so stressed out from the training and the training and the training and the training. And so what I would ask all the doctors listening is please appreciate your employees who have been faithful to you and stuck by you. Show them appreciation, verbal, written, whatever it is. Appreciate them for a job well done. Maybe even a bonus for training team. I mean, there's things that you can do. I'm not suggesting a permanent raise, but I am saying that you could do a bonus. But I think that's key. Now, where did you find your employees? What's working? I hear Indeed. I hear Facebook job postings. Anything else? Any tricks with Indeed that works where it's not super expensive?
I don't know. Saying willing to train, I think, is a big one.
Oh, that's
on
good.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking of because we've had hundreds of applicants through Indeed. And
wow.
Mentioning that, the right person's more important than experience. Willing to train, a reasonable fee range. I'd have to look at my Indeed thing again, my ads. They've been taken down, but we did get very good response. Stressing teamwork, working in a place where you'll be valued and appreciated. Those are things that we say.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The culture, I mean, so some of the big chains might be paying $18 an hour to start, but what kind of environment will they be in, right?
And we do mention that it's a full-time benefited position.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. Anybody else? Dr. Kate, did you want to share something?
I was just gonna say, as far as training, I'm not great at it. I've tried to do some of those Loom videos that people can watch.
Yeah.
That's been helpful, especially with like the maintenance stuff that I expect people to do. And then as far as finding people, honestly, most of my staff, I hate to say it, came from other dental offices because they see what we do and how I treat people and like the social media, what we're always doing. So I don't seek them out. They come to me. So I don't know.
Good for you. Good for you. That's awesome.
I mean, that's where the culture comes into play. I'm comparing what you pay versus the culture. And we are having other offices reach out to our clients and saying, hey, I'm offering this employee $4 more an hour to come work for me. And we have to say to that employee, okay, there's a reason why they want you to come work for them, because we've done such a great job of training you. What do you think it's going to be like when you get there? How much is that worth to you? Because we're going to replace you at some point. There is a ceiling to dollar amount, and maybe you don't match them, maybe you give them a raise, but there is value to your culture.
Absolutely. Well, I wonder what questions we have from the group. We have Dr. Neal on. Did you have a question for the group? I know you're probably on mute. No, you're not on mute.
Nope. I'm listening.
Okay.
Question. Not at this point.
Okay.
I'm just kind of taking everything in.
Okay, good.
What people have to say.
All right, good deal. Well, I just want to make sure we're touching on all the bases. Dr. Bulsara, did you have a question for the group?
No, not at this time. I was just wondering in my head though, my practice is, with Dr. Watson and this practice I joined is, has got a culture that is very positive and it's great. And that transfers to the patients a lot of times. but like this early, I had some obstacles figuring out, figuring out my own overhead, getting all my finances in straight, still working on getting a CPA and figuring out my numbers and, the incoming, the loans and all that. And so I wanted to ask, I guess, how exactly do you convey the value of the culture? Because it's something I'm setting up, and I feel like it's evident, in the way that we work every day. We work really well together. The staff is, when we're not like in the zone, a lot of us are, happy. We're making jokes, we're laughing, but then, everybody does get stressed at some point. And sometimes this early, it's hard to exactly put a value on that so early. I almost feel like, it's kind of like that leadership thing where I forgot what it is. They do what something about, they don't do it because they respect me. They do it because they have to at this point.
Oh, the 5 levels of leadership.
Level 1 versus level 2. Yeah.
So right now, they're all kind of like, they're doing their job and everything because they have to, but I'm working up to they do it because they respect me, and they do it because they're happy to do it. And I thought, I think we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. And I feel like we're headed in the right direction. I just know that at one point it got a little rocky, and I feel like we're making good progress. But that's a struggle. I know in the beginning is just making sure that I get to that level 5, where it does become more value on the culture instead of so much focus on everything else.
Yeah, it's earned. I mean, Dr.
Yeah,
Watson.
it has to be earned.
Dr. Watson earned it. He didn't start out that way, and I'm sure some of the other doctors on here. Dave, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say to Dr. Bulsara's question there?
It sounds like he's on the right track. I like what he said about trying to move up the ladder. Say it again. What was the actual question?
So it's how do I sort of convey the value of the culture this early? Because it's easy for some to say, well, we can go find a job, especially right now where everybody's offering $1 million an hour for work that's probably not as hard, but the culture is going to be different.
Okay, have you written your vision and shared it?
Yes, I have. And I shared it once, and in my mind I was thinking it's probably time to share it again, because I think that in my mind I know where I can see the vision playing out, and it's probably be helpful to read it again and share it.
Yes, and ask them for input. Ask them what they like about the vision, and if there's anything that they see that they would like to see different. And then ask them to write down the things that they really like about the culture and things that they think could be improved on your culture. And then have a team meeting around your culture, around how to develop that culture that you're trying to develop.
I see.
Dr. Tashar, in that book, 5 Levels of Leadership, there's actually a checklist, and I photocopied my book I took a picture and printed it, so I didn't actually write in my book, but you actually check off what your level 1 are. You need to hit 8 out of 10 of these to move to level 2, to move to level 3. But at the end, it says, okay, what does your team think about you? Right. And you ask them to evaluate you, and that shows you where you need to go as well. You gotta have tough skin. You got to be wanting to be a leader to hear that feedback, because you're going to get things all over the map. I would not have a team member do this that you're not happy with, that you're thinking about letting go, because it's typically anonymous, and you're going to wonder, I hope that's the person I'm thinking about letting go, right? Or moving away from. You're not sure is going to work out. Don't have that person fill that out. Have someone that you've worked with for a long time fill those questions out and see what sort of feedback you get in. So you know what you want to work on. That's going to help give you direction on moving up that leadership in your styles. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Quick question. Are you wanting to convey it to your existing team members or people that you want to bring in? I guess your culture.
It's the existing. It's the existing. Right now, we have a pretty solid crew that all the spots are filled. I mean, we could always use help with another assistant, but I feel like the ones that I have, I want to be able to keep happy and move together up the levels.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I would also I have everybody fill out like a sheet of like ways that they like to be appreciated. Like whether it's verbal or like it says like what's your favorite candy bar, like if they've done something good, sometimes I'll surprise them each with like their favorite Snickers or something. Like I think just doing small things like that, it doesn't have to be like a big gesture. I mean, I definitely think all the ideas have been good, but sometimes even small things like that mean a lot.
I think that's a really good idea because part of that is learning who my team is, because I don't know. I'm still learning, who likes what, or like, should I not talk to somebody in the morning, or, don't come to somebody with problems, or if it's a computer problem, don't ask this person, stuff like that. I think our little things are probably help me move up that ladder by showing them that like I'm thinking about them.
Right. No, yeah, because we all have different ways that we have appreciation. I think there's even a book like Love Language of Appreciation in the Workplace or something by the same guy who did the love languages. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working on my love language with my girlfriend.
Oh, all right. That's great. Yep.
There's one other book he wrote, The Things I Wish I Knew Before I Got Married. Make sure you read that one too. It's very good.
I like that. That's awesome.
42 years too late for me, but.
So what she's talking about, the love language, for those that you don't know, it's an awesome book. And it's kind of like our personality style, the way we like to be appreciated is different. Like she was saying, some people like gifts, some people like quality time, or most of us like all of this, just depends, but usually we have one or two favorites, and there's a quiz that goes along with this. So,
yeah, I think that would be helpful to build that trust in the team and to let them know, because I can always give them bonuses, but like sometimes I feel like that's just cold, and especially this early, it's hard to tell, as I'm still figuring out where all the money's going right now. I want to be able to still be, making sure everybody feels appreciated.
that's a really good thing, and even asking them if they feel appreciated. There's a loyalty survey that's in. Let me find a copy of that, and I actually participated in this survey years ago.
This is the book that I was talking about. This 5 Languages of Appreciation in the Workplace.
Oh yeah.
Oh, by Gary Chapman. Yeah. It's just like 5 love languages. Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great.
Thank you for sharing that. So we've got the loyalty survey, and sometimes we just go around the room, and you can give them this as a page to fill out, or you can just ask them individually on a scale of 1 to 5. How do you feel appreciated on a scale of 1 to 5? Or do you feel respected? Or on a scale of 1 to 5, are we having fun during the day? That's not necessarily just events after work. It's just, are we having fun during the day? Are we feeling challenged? And then the money on a scale of 1 to 5. And most people say money's number 1. Well, you know what? It becomes number 1 if these are missing.
Mm-hmm.
If these 4 are missing, appreciation, respect, fun, challenge, then money all of a sudden becomes number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really good feedback. And Dave, you wrote an awesome article in the Den Vantage newsletter about culture.
Thank you.
You want to share a little bit about what you said in that document?
I wish I could remember what I wrote.
Well, I have it right here.
This will help. This will help.
Of course she has it.
I'm just over here pulling up document after document. My database is extensive. So yeah, this is Dave's actual article on culture. It was just really good. Anything you want
to? It came from when I taught CEO team, but the idea behind it was developing your culture, and it's kind of what I was just saying before, is getting your team together and have them look at what are the positives of your culture, basically swatting your culture. And then once you swat your culture, then you talk about what it is you're striving for in your culture.
Yeah.
And then make that an everyday thing, that you're living your culture, you're living, and that's why the vision comes first.
Yeah.
And your culture is described in your vision. I'd be happy to share. Paula, you can please do share that with everybody. I mean that
absolutely, I'll be happy to. And
yeah, I read that. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I think I remember reading that too, actually. And it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I shared it with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paula. One thing that seems to have helped me with the team situations is just acknowledging, keeping up with what's going on in their lives.
Yep.
You know, like with patients, you know, if they've gone on a vacation or something, we always, you know, start the conversation there. Well, like our newbie, Kelsey Bryant, I thought she was just kind of a meek little thing, you know. Well, I just found out that she bagged a buck with a crossbow. And I'm going, are you kidding me? So, you know, just little stuff like that. And Tracy's son is a race car driver, you know.
Yeah, he's
up
winning.
and coming. Yeah. Tucker Anderson, remember that name, guys. You'll see it. He's 14 and he's winning races already, driving race cars. So you know, just little stuff like that you know, just a background conversation, I think just shows you that you're interested in them.
Following social media, following what goes on, what they put on their social media, and you know, just mentioning that, hey, I saw that picture of so and so, and yeah, that's
yeah,
really
those are great.
I have an idea.
Working on it.
Yeah, Dr. Selesky.
Dr. Neal.
Yeah. Hi. So I know you're the caller was the other dentist that's speaking is just starting out, and we have a low cost option that a lot of my staff members like, and we have this like fancy, larger, it looks like an antique picture frame, and it's in the hallway so patients can see it and staff sees it. And so if someone does something remarkable that day, like they really made a patient feel great, or they had an idea to get rid of the water cooler and replace it with something better, or like it could be anything, then we write a sticky note and you sign it and you give it to the person and you say, hey, that was a great idea, why don't you put it on the board? And so I know it's corny, but people like feel more appreciated when they like you actually tell them that, and then they put it on the board. And so then other people read the board and then they kind of get praised that way, and I think they feel appreciated during the day.
That's awesome. Here, I put up a sample of what one team did. They took their love language. It's not quite what you were saying, Dr. Selesky, but that's an awesome idea. They put their love language up here, their personality down here, favorite color, and then they write them little notes on here.
Right.
They had one for each team member. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I know
That's a great idea.
we thought of that because originally when I started practice, I'm in problem solving mode, and uh, I don't always see all the positive, wonderful things that happen during the day because I'm trying to figure out like what to do next and how to fix this problem. But what I realized is that my staff members, they don't necessarily think the same way I do, and like they like praise, and it like matters to them, and so that's a way to like, I don't know, have a systematic way to praise people, and then other people could see it. So I don't know, people seem to really like it.
That's
Yeah, it
really
does-
good
it-
advice.
it really doesn't have to be anything really big. If you completed a really nice procedure with an assistant, just a fist bump sometimes is,
Right.
does wonders. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's good. They like to know you notice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Good advice. I love the mastermind. That's what we're doing. This is perfect. This is awesome. Okay. Anybody else have a question for the group? Or you want to go on to the next?
Yeah, we can move on to the next one. We have internal marketing ideas, loyalty, loyalty, loyalty.
What creates loyalty? What keeps your patients coming back?
Your culture.
Your culture.
Yeah. Culture.
And boy, they know when it's off too, because I had a doctor tell me today that she has some new team members and they haven't quite got the culture yet. And the patients who've been there a long time were like, "Hey, the lady at the front, she didn't know my name when I came in today." we get them spoiled,
Hmm.
and the patients will keep us straight on that, won't they? What else?
Yeah.
What else keeps your patients coming back, Dr. Watson? You're a master at that. What keeps patients coming back?
Well, your team, especially liking the seamless, where you have somebody taking care of somebody all the way through, and they develop a relationship, and they're their person, and then keeping your team intact for a long period of time, so
Yeah.
everything is familiar and everybody does know their name. I think goes a long way. Yeah. You develop whole generations of patients. Yeah, you start out treating kids, and then they pretty soon they have kids.
One thing that I've always thought is really good to do, we make a big fuss over new patients, but what about making a fuss over those patients who've been with us for a long time or have great attendance? Do we ever acknowledge them? Anybody doing that?
Yeah, I had one case recently where we had a patient who he had bridge work done, several fillings, SRP, and we just delivered his last bridge. And on the way out, I gave him the umbrella that we have.
Yeah.
And
The umbrella
it was
is a great
because
thing. It has our logo on it.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I'll do
Because
that. If somebody
you know,
says to me, how long I've been coming here, and we'll look it up, and then I'll run and get them an umbrella. Say, wow, we need to celebrate this.
yeah, and he was really happy because he said, he's like, oh, for me, like, and it's free. And I said, yeah, it's because you've made all your appointments. You've been a great patient. We got all your treatment done, and we've come a long way. So, we wanted to share that with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's exactly what you should do. That's really, really good.
And they'll tell somebody else. Mm-hmm.
You know what else creates loyalty, Dave?
Yes. There's a thing called a membership plan.
Yes, you read my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
How does that create loyalty, Dave?
Well, once they've made a commitment to your office, they're paying by the month, so they don't have to pay when they come in. And and when they are given a treatment plan and they see that they're going to get several $100s off on that treatment plan, it's amazing, but it just changes everything.
Mhm.
I am thanked every day by patients for that.
It really does. I have a little story. If somebody else wants to share, if I can find this real quick, I would like to share it about membership plan and loyalty. Anybody else have an idea? Okay.
The biggest thing is just really A, doing good quality work, and B, is caring for your patients. And that whole thing about they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You have to show them that you really care. And once you do that,
Right.
It's so easy because the competition is not very good.
Yeah.
You're so right about that. Let me just share this with you right here. I just think it's profound the way it is. So, it says, okay, retention versus attrition. Studies have shown automatic payments increase retention and loyalty. So we're talking about membership plan right here. In an economy where everyone is closely watching every monthly expense, if your patients are not paying in full or EFT, you are sending them a monthly statement of how much they're paying for a service they rarely understand and honestly wish they could do without. Picture them sitting at the kitchen table going through today's stack of bills with the TV providing background noise and commercial for another dental office comes on sharing how they can have an exam and cleaning for free, or we take all insurance plans. It just became all about price. I like the way that's said. They're sitting there with the stack of bills. If you're still sending paper statements, which are out of style, where do you think the dental bill is going to go?
Way down.
Way down there at the bottom.
It's going to go right on top of the trash.
On top of what?
File number 13. Yeah. And then they hear that ad for free exam and cleaning, and they're looking at your dental bill and that ad, and they're like, I don't think I'm going to pay this. I'm going to go over here.
So true. Yeah. I think, look, I would just say this. Thank your patients verbally. Get your team associated with saying thank you a lot. Show appreciation as much as you can. I mean, have patient of the month. It doesn't need to be one person. It can be multiple patients of the month. I don't care. But, send out gifts. Have the umbrella ready. Be ready to give some things away. And, there's somebody listening who's thinking, I don't have enough room in my budget to do that. Well, that's not a budget issue. That's a fee you're charging issue. That's a case acceptance issue. That's I'm stuck in network and I can't raise my fees issue. We can fix that so that you can do those things that you really want to do. That's where Dave was talking about your vision, right? If you have your vision written down and you know what it is, well, what's standing in your way of achieving that vision? We'll get rid of those things.
Yeah, and I was just going to say it can be something as simple as like those post-op calls, which I know a lot of people are doing, or like I pick one person a day that has had treatment. The next day I'll write them a handwritten like, you did great at your appointment, especially like little kids because they love getting mail, or a patient that was like super nervous. I'll send them it's a mess here. Anyways, and that's been really because people, they're like, oh, thank you so much for that letter meant a lot, because who gets mail anymore besides bills?
That's right. Yeah, don't send them a statement, send them a handwritten letter thanking them for being your patient, right? Because you've already charged their card. I love that. And you have so much time in your hands. You have nothing to do when you get home after work.
I have a client I work with, and he refuses to allow me to teach his team to ask for referrals. He says, we will never ask for a referral in this practice. And every month I get his tracker, and there are 40 patients a month in his referred column. and he never asks for a referral. It's crazy. As his coach, I am blown away. And his secret sauce is culture. Is like, we should embody, send your people here. We never formally ask, but we're always talking about how great it is to see you. We love seeing you and your people. We love seeing you and your family. And they just show appreciation so much and incorporate their patients into everything they do. And they have just a really good positive energy and attitude. And they're not a library walking on eggshells, don't make any sound. You know, that's not style. And there's laughter in there. Like, you know, some of you have said today, it's a good time. It's not a smelly dental office. You know, it's not this, and it's been hard with the PPE thing. You know, that part's been hard, but there's a personal connection that you have to do. And I say, we're in the tooth industry, but we're in the relationship business, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're doing a good job developing those relationships, the referrals are going to come.
That is right. Preach it. What a great way to close out.
That was the wrap.
That was a good wrap, Eric.
Yeah, we didn't get to how to get new patients in quickly to your practice without sacrificing quality. So I will just say that is the exam typing model that we've used for years and years and years. You know, Dave Peer, Ted Morgan, you know, it's have multiple streams of way to get the new patient in, and don't feel like you have to get everything done at once, but start to develop relationship. Give yourself freedom to do comprehensive care over a 2-month, a 2-visit appointment, which you were going to do anyway for a consultation. Tax Delta Dental. I like that idea.
Somebody sent me that today. Just had to put that up. Sorry to interrupt your serious comment there, Eric.
I'd go humor. Let's make jokes.
So somebody famous or infamous wore a white dress lately, and they wrote something on the back of their picture. So. Anyway, we won't go there. But yeah, what you said, Eric, was really important.
Yeah, exam typing. No, look, don't tell me your new patients are waiting 2 or 3 weeks to get in your practice. Don't tell me you got to do that because you're doing a 2-hour new patient exam. Or if you're going to do that, then just understand those are major friction points, and it's impossible for you to grow your practice through a new patient route. So, yeah.
Friction. That's the word that goes with that whole thing of, you know, what I read about loyalty and the payments.
Yeah, you're creating friction when you're not making it easy for them to want to do business with you. Yeah.
I love that concept. Exam typing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Ted Morgan's. Mm-hmm. Ted Morgan developed that, and it is really good. I have a slide on it if you guys don't have it, but I can send it to you.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the concept is basically give yourself permission to look at this patient's mouth before you decide how much time do I want to spend with them at my next visit for the exam. And you could start the exam that day. Just don't feel like you have to finish it. But if it's simple, finish it. If it's complicated, get them back and finish the exam and do the consultation at that same visit. You're just making, same like the time, same number of visits, you're just breaking it up in different places. It's really a simple concept.
Mm-hmm. And you can also tell a lot from the phone call. If you've got your team doing some good research on the phone call, you kind of know where to put them too.
And we're getting these COVID cancellations like you would not believe in hygiene. And the doctor says, oh no, the new patients have to see me, and I'm a month and a half out to see a new patient. Well, no, you have an hour tomorrow on your hygiene schedule, use it. That doesn't mean you have to do a cleaning. You can have that be your assistant who's well trained to see a new patient.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All the kids, the Dr. Selesky picture with the kids, Dr. Hagen.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Dr. Pierre's a kid. I mean, this is amazing.
Dr. Allgood, I know you're on there. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry your computer. I just saw your email about that. So thanks for joining.
Yeah. Well, certainly. I've enjoyed the conversations completely.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah.
Well, hey, Andy.
Good to have you on the call.
Yeah. I think y'all probably didn't want to see me on the video anyway. What the heck? Okay.
All right, good deal.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think we can wrap it up here, and I hope everyone has a good evening. And thanks for joining us. What great ideas shared tonight. I just love it.
That was good.
Thank you all for helping each other out. Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thanks, guys. All
Good
right.
evening.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
Take
See you
care.
on the
Be
road.
safe.
Okay.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right. I stopped recording. I'll see you later. Take care.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.